is 12 o'clock. Here is the Midday News. First, the top stories. UBEC indicts Ogun State over running of some of its primary schools. 2017 Budget Bill report laid before National Assembly. NEMA asks Nigerians to brace up for harsh weather conditions. NNPC and Ajib float new $15 billion refinery project in Niger Delta region. In foreign, Donald Trump fires FBI director over Hillary Clinton's email. Australian senator breastfeed her baby in parliament. Good afternoon, I am Aghemerio Oaikhenan, bringing you the news in detail shortly. And now the news in detail. The Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, has indicted Ogun State government over the running of some of the primary schools in the state. The UBEC indicted the state government after its investigative team inspected some of the primary schools in the Abeokuta North local government area of the state. The UBEC team describes the schools in the local government area as the worst managed in its report submitted to the Ogun State Universal Basic Education Board (SUBEB) after the inspection exercise. Rock City FM gathered that during the visit, the UBEC team arrived at a primary school located at Aghemerio in Abeokuta North local government area, but could not find both the teachers and the pupils during the school hours. The school was also found to be under lock and key. The situation was the same at a primary school in the Olorunda areas of the local government area when the UBEC team visited the school. The team, according to a top UBEC official, put a telephone call across to the school head, who said she was attending a burial ceremony, thinking that the call came from one of the school teachers. Following the report of the UBEC team, Rock City FM gathered that the state UBEC had withheld the salaries of the teachers in the affected schools for the 3 months. Also, all the primary school heads in the local government area were directed by SUBEB to be reporting to its headquarters in Abeokuta pending the determination of the case. Efforts to speak with the top officials of the state SUBEB, including the chairman Alhaji Jalili Okewale, proved abortive as they were not ready to talk on the issue. The indictment came as the state government failed to access 2.8 billion naira in the UBEC fund following its failure to pay the counterpart fund. An estimated 81,349 applicants from Ogun State have been registered by the Joint Admission Matriculation Board (JAMB) to write the 2017 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) coming up nationwide on Saturday. JAMB Registrar Professor Isa Koloyede, who made this known while addressing newsmen in Abuja, says the examination will be written by 1,736,571 candidates between May 13 and May 20. Imo State, according to Loyede, registered the highest number of 101,868 candidates, followed by Osun State with 88,653 candidates and Oyo State with 87,811 candidates. JAMB Registrar explains that arrangements have been concluded to ensure that the examination that will be written in 624 computer-based test CBT centers nationwide is hitch-free. The reports of the 2017 appropriation bill have finally been laid separately before the Senate and the House of Representatives preparatory to its passage. The bill was presented 4 days to the expiration of the 2016 fiscal year. The Senate President, Bukola Saraki, commended the Senate Appropriation Committee for presenting the bill with details. Saraki promises that the bill will be passed on Thursday. In the House of Representatives, the 7.30 trillion naira bill submitted by President Buhari was raised by 143 billion naira to 7.44 trillion naira. Buhari presented the bill to a joint session of the Senate and the House of Representatives last December 14. There has been disagreement in the Senate over the interpretation of the letter sent by President Muhammadu Buhari notifying the National Assembly of his indefinite medical vacation in the UK. Buhari, in the letter read by the Senate President Bukola Saraki at the plenary, says that his length of stay in the UK will be determined by the advice of his doctors. In his absence, Buhari told the Senate that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo will coordinate the activities of the government. The argument started when Senator Mao Owabunwa criticized Buhari for asking Osinbajo to act as a coordinator instead of acting president. Owabunwa, who says there is no provision for coordinating president in the 1999 constitution, believes that Buhari has not transferred powers to the vice president. He was interrupted by the Senate leader Aghemerio Oaikhenan, who says that the president fully complied with Section 145 of the Constitution in his letter to the Senate. Also, the Deputy Senate leader Balana Olar says Buhari's letter is in order. Later overruled Senator Omabuwa, saying Buhari's letter was in order.
And there's no ambiguity in the Constitution, so I don't think there's any.
National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has asked Nigerians to expect frequent and severe weather disaster in the coming months. According to the agency, floods, windstorms, drought, and epidemic may occur at unusual places nationwide. The agency Director General Mustafa Mahaya issued the alert in Kebbi State while handing over relief materials to people affected by windstorm disaster in Maya local government area. He calls for emergency preparedness and an early warning to reduce the impact of the envisaged weather disaster. The lunar crescent of the Ramadan will appear in the country on May 26, according to the National Space Research and Development Agency. The appearance of the lunar moon signifies the takeoff of the 2017 Ramadan on May 27. The agency, in a statement by its spokesman, Dr. Felix Ali, says the appearance of the crescent will be recorded between 6:49 p.m. and 7:54 p.m. on May 26. Earlier on May 25, there will be conjunction of the moon at 4:45 p.m. In the southwest region, the first lunar moon will be experienced between 7:15 p.m. and 7:53 p.m. on May 26. You're still listening to the Midday News on Rock City 101.9 FM. Up next, we bring you foreign, business and sport news. Please to stay with us. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has fired the director of the FBI over his handling of the inquiry into Hillary Clinton's emails. But Democrats said he was fired because the FBI was investigating alleged links between the Trump campaign and Russia. The move came as it emerged Mr. Comey gave inaccurate information about Mrs. Clinton's emails to Congress last week. Mr. Comey was addressing FBI agent in Los Angeles when, according to Politico and the New York Times, he learned he had been fired when he saw the news on television. The White House said the search for a successor would begin immediately. It is only the second time for the head of the FBI to be fired. Nearly 250 people are feared drowned after two shipwrecks in the central Mediterranean over the weekend. The UN said some 163 people are missing after a boat reportedly sank off the Libyan coast on Sunday. Another sank on Friday night, and though some 50 people were rescued and taken to Sicily, about 82 are missing. The UN's refugee agency said the latest shipwrecks mean more than 1,300 people have died or disappeared while trying to cross from North Africa to Italy since the beginning of the year. And more than 43,000 migrants and asylum seekers used the central Mediterranean route to reach Italy in that period. Australian Senator Larissa Waters has become the first politician to breastfeed in the nation's parliament. Ms. Waters from the left-wing Greens Party fed 2-month-old daughter Aliyah Joy during a vote on Tuesday. Until last year, members of parliament in Lower House of Representatives could take babies only into parliamentary offices or public galleries. The subject is a sensitive issue in many parliaments around the world. In 2016, Spanish Member of Parliament Carolina Escancer from the Podemos Weekend Party was both criticized and commended for taking her baby into Parliament and breastfeeding him. And now in business. A new refinery is to be constructed in either Port Harcourt, the River State capital, or Bras in Bayelsa State. The proposed $15 billion refinery is a joint venture between the federal government and an Italian oil giant, Agee. It will refine 150,000 barrels of crude oil daily when completed. Petroleum Resources Minister of State, Ibe Kachuku, made this known to the State House correspondent after leading top management of Agip to a meeting with acting President Yemi Osinbajo at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The minister says that a memorandum of understanding on the project is being perfected. Dangote Industries is also constructing a 600 barrels daily refinery at Lekki in Lagos State. Finally, sport news. The reigning Ogun State Principal Cup female champions, Muslim High School Isolu Abeokuta, started their defense on a winning note, beating Community Comprehensive High School Owowo 4-2 via penalty shootout. Bakoto High School Ifo defeated Nawarudin Grammar School Odeda by 2-1 in another first-round match in the male category of the competition within Egba Zone. The State Youth and Sports Commissioner Afolabi Afwakwe, while kicking off the competition at the playing ground of the Nawarudin Grammar School Obantoko, Abeokuta, promised the state government commitment to the development of sport at the grassroots. Nigeria head coach Gano Raw has announced his 25-man squad for the upcoming international friendly games against France and Corsica later this month. The Super Eagles are scheduled to camp in France ahead of the crucial 2019 African Cup of Nations AFCON qualifier against South Africa on the 10th of June 2017. The first friendly encounter will be against Corsica on Wednesday, May 24, before taking on European giant France 2 days later as Nigeria prepares to host South Africa. That was the media news, and just before we go, the major stories once again. UBEC indicted Ogun State over running of some of its primary schools. 2017 Budget Bill reports laid before National Assembly. NEMA asked Nigerians to brace up for harsh weather conditions. NNPC and Agip floated new $15 billion refinery projects in Niger Delta region. In foreign, we told you that Donald Trump fired FBI director over Hillary Clinton's email, and also Australian senator breastfed her baby in Parliament. For more stories and to listen to us live, please log on to our website www.rockcityfmradio.com/live. Thank you so much for listening. I am Aghemerio Oaikhenan. Good morning.